do convict leasing, illegal immigration, and unpaid prison labor in the Arkansas governor's mansion have in common? One word: Democrats. And their generational hustle of exploiting the vulnerable while pretending to be their saviors. Oh, we are calling names today. And yes, that includes the Clintons. Hey, Hillary! Coming up on Unshakable with April Chapman. You guys, welcome back to Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm your host, April Chapman, and today I am back because I want to talk to you guys about more uncomfortable truths that I just keep discovering. And so today I want to dive a little deeper into a topic that I touched on in a previous video, and that's the subject of convict leasing. Now, this time, though, we're not just going to revisit the dusty history books. No, I felt that it was important to conduct and connect the dots straight to modern political elites and their double-tongued devotion to exploitation disguised as compassion. So, first of all, I got to give a big shout out to one of my loyal subscribers and moderators, Sister Chicken Grease, who dropped this gem of an article to me by text this morning, and it's titled "The Clintons Had Slaves," and it's by Current Affairs, which is an incredibly liberal publication, but you did hear it right. We're going to unpack every single little bit of it. And so the first thing I want to do is we need to address the legacy of convict leasing. Now, I previously defined what convict leasing was, and it was the Democrats' post-slavery hustle. So this is a little bit how it worked. After the Civil War, the South had to figure out a way to rebuild their economy without the enslaved labor force that they had depended on. So what was their solution? Well, these disciples of darkness invented laws that targeted Black people, locked them up, and then rented them out to the highest bidder. So you couldn't pay your vagrancy fine. Boom, don't worry about it. You were leased to a coal mine. If you jaywalked on a dirt road in 1880, pack your bags. You're building railroads now, and you're going to like it, and you're going to be happy about it. And so none of this was just or fair. However, it was a form of economic exploitation under a new name. Now, we had the Civil War, and then we had the 13th Amendment, which technically it abolished slavery. But here was the deficiency. A loophole was left just wide enough for these Democrats to march an entire prison chain gang through it. The verbiage in the 13th Amendment outlawed slavery except as a punishment for a crime. So the Democrats decided anything and everything is a crime, right? We didn't like the way you talked to Miss Millie over there. So now we're about to employ convict leasing, and we pretty much own you and your labor in perpetuity or until we feel like it's enough. So now let's fast forward to the 1980s when Governor Bill Clinton, he was governor of Arkansas, and First Lady Hillary, they were enjoying their Southern mansion life. It was staffed by unpaid Black prison inmates. Not my words. Hillary admitted to this in her own book called It Takes a Village, and they relied on prison labor to keep costs down. This woman said this with a straight face and didn't see anything wrong with it. And y'all, let's be real. If any Republican had said that, it would have been on the front page of every newspaper, right next to a grainy photo of them holding a whip. But because she's a Democrat, there's a pass for this. So let me make it plain. These were unpaid Black inmates working in the governor's mansion. They couldn't refuse it. They couldn't say, hey, I don't want to work there. They were told when to wake up, what to clean. And if they got out of line, they went straight back to lockup. Y'all, This is rehabbed slavery, period. This is not prison reform. I don't care what other fancy titles you want to call it. This was the same thing. Modern day convict leasing, all under a reimagined name. Isn't it? Y'all know I talk about Democrats a lot, okay? As you can tell, I'm not very fond of the Democrat Party. It's because the more I learn about who these listen, the more I learn about who they are, the more I'm like, they're still the same. They haven't changed. We really did go from chain gangs to border crossings, and here's how I'm going to link it all together. The new plantation system, we have to introduce the illegal immigration problem into the discussion. Because if you want to talk about modern exploitation, because trust me, Democrats, they didn't retire their hustle. They just outsourced it, renamed it, and cloaked it under more false virtue. You've got prominent Democrats who have been on camera saying stuff like, well, who's going to pick your berries? Who's going to, do your farming? Y'all don't want to do that work. We need illegals to do the jobs that Americans won't do. And I'm like, are these people listening to themselves? Black people are hearing these people say this, and they're like, you know what? That's right. I don't want to pick no berries. I don't want to cut no grass. And they're missing, there's a fundamental disconnect between what they're hearing these Democrats say and what it actually means. Let me translate this for you in plain English. We need a disposable underclass who's willing to work for scraps, vote when they are told, and to just stay out of the way. Undocumented, no problem. Committed a crime, it ain't no big deal. We have a bigger purpose for these people. These people are not importing compassion. They're not interested in helping these illegals. They're importing more control. They're bringing in their next generation of electoral serfs, the ones who are just so grateful for the opportunity to be on American soil that they'll be forever indebted to the Democrats. They will vote for the Democrats because the Democrats feed them, the Democrats clothe them, the Democrats give them their trash education, right? It's the same song, different verse. Whether it's convict leasing or illegal immigration, the system always benefits the elites while black folks, brown folks, poor folks are kept in a cycle of dependency. You get dependency, cheap labor, and false promises. And then they make you think that you're a do-gooder if you agree to it. They dress it up in humanitarian language, like these people are just coming from these war-torn countries and they're seeking asylum. Lies. Am I not saying that these countries may or may not be war-torn? Nope, that's not the argument. The argument is if you are an able-bodied man and you are in a country that you don't like, why don't you stay over there and try to either fix your country or flee the proper way? The criminal element that's coming over here, we don't need no help. We got our own takeaways to deal with, okay? The point I'm trying to make is if the left really cared about giving people a better life, they'd fix the conditions at the border. They would be wholeheartedly invested in stopping human trafficking. And everywhere they're already in charge, everywhere they already rule, they would improve the living conditions of the people who already live there. But see, that's too much like, right. They have to keep the hood. They have to keep your children dumbed down and uneducated with these equitable grading practices where they lower the bar so low that your children lose their will to compete and don't desire to thrive and be the best version of themselves because they've been told I'm a victim, nothing's my fault, I can't do anything on my own, and unless the government provides it for me, I don't know how I'm going to function. I've actually heard leftist, liberal-minded, melanated Marxists, particularly the women, say things like, I need childcare, I need healthcare, I need education, it's all these needs. And at no given time do they ever look to say, of these needs, what am I going to do to meet those needs? Instead, they say, what is the government going to do for me to meet my needs? I told you, this Marxist construct has been developed and created, and it's here now. And it is hard. It is hard to get a melanated Marxist off the teat of the government because the government is God to them. They want more government because they are dependent on the government. They've never been taught how to function in their freedom. They don't have the concept, or they don't even know what freedom tastes like on the tip of their tongue because they're so far removed from what true liberty and functioning in your freedom and doing for yourself actually looks like. So this is why I am including the illegal immigration component into this discussion, because it matters. The conditions at the border, or should I say, Joe Biden opened up the border and let all of those people in and did nothing to stop it. The human trafficking is another industry that is being fed by the left, and they're going to do nothing to stop incentivizing the cartels to come, because this party has always been about exploitation, oppression, and subjugation. The chaos that is created on purpose creates votes, and the labor, it keeps costs low for their donors. This is why the elite are the overwhelming ones that are supporting these efforts. So they used to lease out prisoners. Now they've leased out policies. Exploitation is still the business model. It's just got a diversity, equity, and inclusion sticker slapped on the front. DEI. See the smoke screen? Do you see the smoke screen? This is political exploitation and racial injustice. So let's not forget the Clintons. They have a broader track record. 1994, do y'all remember the Clinton crime bill? Oh, I know y'all remember the Clinton crime bill. This was the super spreader smear, where mass incarceration and welfare dependency, every one of these policies disproportionately wrecked Black communities, yet the same people, they want to act like they're the ones that are out here fighting for freedom. They're not freedom fighters. All they do is hijack narratives, just like they've hijacked the slavery narrative, they've hijacked the reparations narrative, they hijacked the civil rights narrative. Now they're hijacking this narrative. They have a legacy of exploitation, from prison labor to illegal labor. It's always been about, let's control the means of production while gaslighting the oppressed into believing that it is for their own good. That is what we are witnessing. And so for my audience, as a Christian content creator, I want to exhort you to remember, we absolutely have a duty to call out exploitation, no matter what form it takes or what party it's hiding behind. I have a verse that I want to read to you. Proverbs 31, verse 8 through 9 says, "Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Defend the rights of the poor and needy." Justice is not redistributing someone else's paycheck or keeping people locked in government dependency. That's not justice. Justice operates in truth and in transparency. Justice is righteousness. Justice is freedom. It's the kind that Christ gave us, not this counterfeit type that the culture is selling us. So whether it's convict leasing in the 1800s or modern day immigration exploitation in 2025, the game has not changed. It's just the players and the PR. It's all optics. So once again, I want to thank you. Shout out to Chicken Grease for bringing this article to my attention. I love our truth warriors around here. And so keep the articles and the videos coming, because it tells me what you guys want to see and learn more about. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments below, share this video far and wide. I appreciate you watching to the end. And remember, stay rooted in the truth, stand firm in the faith, and never let the culture shake your convictions. So until next time, you guys, I'll see you on the next one. Grace and peace.